Oh, we could watch the Pop-Tart movie today.
We could do that. Yeah, so we're back. We had yet another right error. I don't know why this is, if this is a problem with Zoom or what. There's another thing I wanted to tell you. For those of you who don't know, we upload to a service called Buzzsprout, and Buzzsprout has just introduced a new feature where you can text us questions. We don't have a ton of listeners, but if you want to comment on a movie, it's in the link for texting option is in the show notes on Buzzsprout. I looked on some of the other services. I don't think it's in there, but if you go to Buzzsprout to listen, you can go to the show notes for Critique-Opolis and just send a text if you have a question or if you want to write in about a movie we should check out, or a story behind a movie or a script that you think could be of interest to us. This week, one other thing. I think we can upload intros and outro music to Buzzsprout so we can fix the intro section. It just automatically gets put in. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So, for those of you who think I'm not dipping into my own product because I sound terrible here, it's because of the pollen bloom right now, especially the tree pollens. While the hives are out, the tree pollen is what gets me in the mid to late spring, and our Michigan honey doesn't really do a ton to combat that. It's more of the midsummer pollens, grass, and ragweed and stuff like that. So I'm going to sound like absolute and total dog shit today. Don't give me a hard time over it. Lucy got me a tea, so I'm going to be fighting through it a little bit today. The movie I picked, this was my pick. We didn't watch a movie. We're doing a blacklist and a dailies review. The blacklist I picked was from, I think, 2021, and it's for a script called The Villain. Again, you know how development hell goes. They could change this, right after, 2 or 3 years down the line, depending on who acquires it or picks it up and options it. For any number of reasons, the name can be changed, but script written by Andrew Ferguson, produced by Mandalay Pictures, detailing the rise and fall of Martin Shkreli. And for those of you who don't know, I'm sure you've seen him in the news, at least in the past few years. A complete, sorry for blowing out yours, a complete and total categorical pile of shit. He's kind of the poster boy for financial crimes for the 21st century. I'm going to try to give you the overview, going through his Wikipedia without making it sound too like I'm reading too much of it. Co-founder of the hedge funds Ela Capital, MSMB Capital Management, and the co-founder of and former CEO of pharmaceutical firm Retrofin and Turing Pharmaceuticals. So you've seen this guy in the news, and his claim to fame, I don't really like calling it that, but the reason why you would know him is his company purchased an off-patent drug, it wasn't an AIDS medication or HIV medication, I think it was a anti-malarial drug that was dirt cheap for like $2 or $3 a tablet, and he cranked it up by over 5,000% to several $100s a tablet, which caused the deaths of countless people who were affected with malaria. I'll get to the details of the crime a little bit later, but his synopsis on Wikipedia is as follows. September 2015, Shkreli was widely criticized when Turing that's his company, obtained the manufacturing license for the antiparasitic drug Daraprim, and raised its price from, the numbers were a little bit off, $13.50 to $750 per pill, but I do believe my math is right. That's over a 5,000% increase. In 2017, he was charged and convicted in federal court on 2 counts of securities fraud and 1 count of conspiracy for activity unrelated to Daraprim controversy. He was sentenced to 7 years in prison and was given up to $7.4 million in fines. Civil antitrust case, Shkreli was fined a further $64.6 million to be repaid to victims. In May 18th of 2022, he was released early from a low-security federal prison in Allenwood, Pennsylvania. Got started in hedge funds when he was, I believe, in high school, and then I think he got into it as an after-school program and took to it like a duck to water. He learned everything he could about every company he was interested in, and like a lot of these stories about people who run afoul of Wall Street, got in with the right players, learned the equity game, and operated with a profit is the only motive strategy as he furthered his career. When he got a hold of Daraprim, he wrecked a lot of people's lives because a lot of people could no longer afford this medication. And you've probably seen him if this story sounds familiar, if you need a photo reference for it. Any photo that was taken of him in court when he was charged with these heinous, just absolutely naked greed, he always sported a shit-eating grin on his face, like he was proud of the fact that he was ripping off the consumer. So that's my overview. I picked my cast based on what this guy looks like, and I think I picked somebody who, I don't know, fits him. Like, I'm really looking forward to your reaction of this, because you saw what this guy looks like, right? Mm-hmm. You looked at him, right? Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go second though. I want to hear your. No, we'll get to mine, but I want to hear your input on this guy because you read about him when I wasn't around.
Well, I don't really have that much to say, except that he was just awful, beyond awful. Like the things he did to make himself so much money and to screw all these other people over. I mean,
he's like the Gordon Gekko of the modern times.
Like medications and
pharmaceuticals are insanely expensive to begin with.
Exactly, and so people they're already scraping by to keep themselves healthier, to keep themselves alive, and to do this with any medication. I mean, it just reminded me of the whole insulin thing. He didn't have anything to do with that, did he? The whole insulin thing.
What do you mean?
Maybe it wasn't insulin.
Yep.
Oh no, it wasn't. It was like an EpiPen.
Oh, EpiPen. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, remember that whole thing? Yeah. Because I wondered how that would affect some of our families at school.
Because those things are like $300 a shot now, aren't they?
Honestly, I don't know, but I know that they're really expensive because the price went way, way up.
Yeah, they used to be like $15-$20 or something.
And you could just that's a lifeline for people, and like, for example, in school settings, kids have to have those because if anything happens, that prevents them from
having anaphylactic shock.
Exactly. So you're purchasing one hoping that you won't have to use it, but you always have to have it on hand.
I know, they're like between $300 and $500.
And
they're not that
advanced or anything. It's just,
you used to be able to pick them up in CVS for it was just it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah.
So when I saw when I this was probably about a year and a half ago. I saw one. Somebody had one at market. Just for
an EpiPen.
Yeah, just on them. Like, what does that run that? When he told me, I'm like, what?
And
he's
just
like, yeah, they won't wait up.
Yeah, so that was just awful. And actually, I sort of think insulin is in a similar situation because people really need that. I mean, well, I guess they really need everything, but
I don't know what there might be. I'm sure there's people, anyone who's listening, like, you don't know about this controversy.
You're right.
We review scripts. That's what we do.
Yeah, we're not medical people.
We're not the news.
We're not. No.
Okay, without further ado, who'd you pick?
I picked Paul Dano.
Damn it!
Did you really?
That's who I picked.
100% right away. I saw it as soon as I looked at his face. Did you really?
Damn it, man!
Is that really what you wrote?
Yes,
Let me see.
Right there. I didn't.
We write notes ahead of time.
And we don't look at them. This isn't a bit or anything.
That's it.
Like, I know he fits he's got to be. If they
he
make
is
that.
I mean, you cannot.
He looks just like him. He's got that same kind of dopey.
Yeah, his hair would just have to be dyed black.
Or you know who might be a runner-up?
There are some yeah.
What's that guy's name? Who was in Scott Pilgrim? What's that guy's name?
Michael Cera.
Yeah, maybe, but Paul Dano, I think,
would be the number one.
He'd be suited for it.
Oh my gosh.
I was kind of wondering if you were going to pick that just because just to look at him, I'm like, how can you not pick him?
How can you not? I know you, dead ringer.
I really want to know if they make this or if they put it's Mandalay. They make bigger movies.
And he's done some really great movies, really good roles. He's like I would say very versatile.
Like in There Will Be Blood, he's got, you never saw that.
He's in There Will Be Blood? Oh, yeah. Did we just talk about this?
We talked about it. He's the preacher who, Daniel Plainview, he buys land around this kid's father's farm, and he buys mineral rights.
Oh, that's right.
And Paul Dano's character tries to manipulate Daniel Plainview through, religion, and doesn't want to give him access to certain plots of land. But he's a real kind of conniving, just smarmy, just kind of a creep. And this guy, this Martin Shkreli, I can't believe that you picked him, but because you remember when we were making notes, I'm like, I know who I'd cast right away. And you were sitting there. When did you think of it? Because you didn't know it when we were first talking about this and when I was making my notes. And I remember I said, I'm done. I got this buttoned up.
Quite honest.
I'm sorry, everybody. This is just post-nasal drip. I know it's gross. I can't do anything about it. It's pollen
He sounds
season.
way better than he did earlier.
It's pollen season in Michigan.
I wish I could remember exactly when I knew, but I'm pretty sure that soon after you told me what the next blacklist was going to be, that I looked at it and immediately thought of him.
Yeah.
So I might have known a couple nights ago.
If this actually gets put into production and he doesn't get picked up,
It'll be really interesting to see who they cast.
I can't imagine anybody.
You wouldn't.
Go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt. You wouldn't have to make him look any different. I mean, maybe the hair.
You'll make his hair black.
But I guess what I'm thinking of, and maybe this is stretching it a little bit, but you wouldn't have to do any prosthetics or anything. You wouldn't have to alter his face in any way. Yeah, no. My gosh.
He's about this. Damn it. We try to make this thing go for an hour, but I'm. I was so sure you were going to have somebody different. Damn.
I mean, I was still thinking about it last night about who else would I cast, and I'm sort of still thinking about who else would I cast, but I mean, Paul Dano was
He's perfect.
Perfect. Perfect.
I mean, I don't think there's a ton of roles where you can. It's probably easier when they're movies about people who are, they're taken from real life or they're taken from the headlines. You can look at somebody and this guy looks like, whoever. But like when it's a movie that's just crafted out of thin air, I mean, you could really put anybody in it, and your mind can form around the story and how this person, any particular actor might fit in that role. But this guy, for anybody who's interested in this story, look up Martin Shkreli and tell me that Paul Dano is not born to play that role.
Oh, he was. Oh my gosh.
Let's see what else I can tell you about him. He went through a number of hedge funds, but stayed involved in pharmaceutical purchases, and as far as the equities he traded. Shkreli founded Retrofin in 2011 under the MSMB umbrella and ran it as a portfolio company with an emphasis on biotech to create treatments for rare diseases. In November, he was chosen for the Forbes 30 Under 30. Publication regretted it 10 years later.
I read that. I was kind of cracking up. Like, wow, I didn't know magazines did that.
You're like, oh, faux
What's art? Yeah.
Placing Shkreli in its Hall of Shame, a list of 10 notably bad picks. Retrofin's board decided to replace Shkreli in September 2014, and he resigned from the company the following month. He was replaced by Stephen Aslage. During his tenure as CEO, the company's employee used alias Twitter accounts to make gangster rap jokes and encourage short selling of other biotech stocks. What a creep. After his departure, Retrofin filed a $65 million lawsuit against him in August 2015, claiming he had breached his duty of loyalty to the biopharmacological company in a long-running dispute over his use of company funds and committed stock trading irregularities and other violations of security rules. There was something in here about how any of his employees, the traders under him, they were given instructions to find off-brand medications that were, or not off-brand, medications that were coming off patent, that they could capitalize on their low price, buy them, and they didn't have to be, they didn't have to go through a generic manufacturer, because that requires a ton of money to remanufacture, apparently. I'm trying to find that here. Thiola price hike. 2014, he had difficulty assessing public markets for capital, but received a $4 million Series A funding round and a PIPE deal valued at $10 million, underwritten by Roth Capital Partners. After obtaining the financing, he was able to acquire rights to market Troponin, brand name Thiola, a drug used to treat a rare disease, cystinuria. I'm probably butchering that, and another drug, Chenodal, and subsequently raised the price of each drug substantially. Oh, I didn't realize he did this multiple times. What a dick. With Thiola being marked up about 20-fold from $1.50 to $30 a pill. God, he did this over and over. And, I'll tell you what, for Paul Dano, no offense to you, Paul, but you definitely do a good job at playing characters who can be despised.
Yeah.
He was in Batman, too. He was the, I know it's not your type of movie, but he played the Riddler in the new dark, broody Twilight Batman.
Who was Batman in this movie?
The Twilight kid. What's his name?
Oh.
That guy.
He was. I think we saw that movie together.
We did?
I mean, I saw it.
You remember in Riddler was all like he always had him. You never saw his face.
Yeah.
And at the end, he was just kind of like, yeah, well, I'm.
With Lenny Kravitz's daughter's Catwoman.
Yeah. We did see that. Daraprim price hike. This guy is just such a scumbag. Turing acquired Daraprim, a medication approved by the FDA in 1953. This is an old pharmaceutical from Impax Laboratories for $55 million. The drug's most prominent use as of late 2015 was an anti-malarial and an anti-parasitic in conjunction with, forgive me people, I'm not a pharmacologist, leucovorin and sulfadiazine to treat patients with both AIDS-related and AIDS-unrelated toxoplasmosis. That's something you can pick up from cats when they walk around in their own crap and they scratch you. It's kind of an issue for like pregnant women.
That's so awful.
And it gets in your brain and just like it kind of controls your. I know it does it with smaller animals. In 2015, in September, Dave Muyo of Helio, an in-depth clinical information website for healthcare specialists, reported on a letter from the Infectious Disease Society of America and HIV Medicine Association to executives at Turing questioning the new pricing for Daraprim. The price of a dose of the drug in the U.S. market increased by a factor of 56. That was the other one. From $1,350 to $750 a pill overnight. God, this guy is horrible. I mean, I don't want to spend the whole podcast reading you his Wikipedia, but he sucks, and it would provide for a totally riveting story about someone who is just obsessed by greed. Really smart at understanding how capital markets work and trading and investing, and then just use that knowledge for absolute deplorable evil. So if you hear about it, pardon to everybody again, let us know. But
I have one thing to add.
Oh, yeah.
From his Wikipedia.
Go ahead.
How do you say that? While he was serving time in prison, in 2019, it says he was transferred to solitary confinement for a time after prison authorities discovered he was using a contraband smartphone to conduct business from prison. Like, seriously?
This guy
you're
can't
already,
be stopped.
Like, he cannot. You're already, like, in, I can't even, describe, like, how much trouble you're in. And here you are in prison
like, I gotta execute that trade.
Yeah, like
short sell at 6 1/4.
You're addicted.
3/8
like, you
tops.
can't. Oh gosh, anyway. I just like reading reading everything that he's done.
He's executing trades via a cell phone
that he's not supposed to have while in prison for other things that he already did previously.
Oh, wow.
Like,
what a dirtbag.
No.
Paul, you gotta get this role, man. You gotta.
Well,
you even look like him. Your agent better be all over this movie.
Right. Could we get his information so that we can, his or her information so that we can send
I'm sure we're, like, in terms of Hollywood news, we're, like, way behind the 8 ball, but, like...
Not even, yeah.
Yeah, he's so perfect for it.
Oh, my gosh.
So, Paul, we're pulling for you, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you want to hear about my recipe for the week?
Oh, yeah, your recipe.
All right, so I just came across this. See if I can maintain it. It's a... oh, no, I lost it.
You can find it.
Hold
it's
on.
okay.
Okay. Oh, there it is. Okay, so hold on. Guinness mustard. So this is not the kind of recipe I'd normally make, but I'm watching a video on mute on how to make this, and it looks pretty good, but you gotta like Guinness. So you start with brown mustard seeds. You're gonna need like one of those, the mason jars. How big do you think that is? Like a quart?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like a quart mason jar. You're gonna fill it like maybe just under a third of the way with brown mustard seeds, and the dark ones too. And then you're gonna crack open the Guinness, pour that in all the way. You're gonna add brown sugar, clover and wildflower honey. You know who to get it from. HeyHoney.biz. Sea salt, chili flakes, turmeric, and apple cider vinegar. You're gonna mix that up, and then just seal it, of course. Mix that up, seal it, and let it sit for, it looks like 4 days. Then you're going to strain it. At this point, the mustard seeds are going to absorb some of that Guinness. They're going to get fat and juicy. You're going to strain it with with a strainer, so you capture all the seeds, and the fluid is going to run into like something to capture it. Then you're going to take the seeds, you're going to put them into a food processor and add half of the Guinness liquid, and you're going to blend it up. And then you're going to add the other half of the seeds and then the rest of the fluid, blend it up until it's like a paste. That's how you make mustard. And then just spread on bread, and then, have something to, you can put it in another ball jar, but take a piece of bread, spread this mustard on there, add prosciutto, cheese, tomato. It looks delicious. And that would work with a pickle too. Guinness mustard with honey. That's it. What do we have next? Daily stuff.
Review of the dailies.
I'm gonna let you go first on this one. What jumped out at you?
The first thing that I wrote down was like on the dailies when the email comes, before they get into everything, they usually have like something to grab your attention. What do you call it? Like, not an introduction, but it's like that kind of
tagline.
Sure, a tagline. And this one was about staying at Airbnb has this, they call it the Icons Initiative.
I didn't even see this.
Did you read that?
No, what is this?
And it was describing that one of the examples of places that you could stay, they were like houses and places, residences for movies.
I didn't see that.
One of the places that you could stay was in the house that was featured in Up. Do you know that Pixar Disney movie?
Yeah.
And like a bunch of balloons would lift you up by a crane.
What?
Which that's kind of cool, I guess. But that was the one that they talked about in the email. But I just looked it up recently, and there's like all these cool.
You're talking about the house that was an animation. You mean the house they modeled it after?
No, you could stay in a house like what looked like in the movie.
Oh, okay.
So they made.
Oh, they built
like
it.
a replica of that
okay.
house. Yeah. So anyway, I thought that was pretty cool. That was just like a small little sidebar, but I was like, that would be pretty neat. Like, it looks like they're gonna add some more ideas, and they might already have some. But I don't know. I thought that was neat. Grabbed my attention.
What did I trip across?
But then I went into development, so if you want to skip ahead to that, I have a lot of stuff.
Well, I saw some stuff on net neutrality, which is
like... Oh, I did, yeah.
I mean, like, it was interesting to read about, but I don't know that I could speak about it intelligently. Like, it's going back to Capitol Hill again.
Did you watch the video that they provided?
Yeah, but it was like 4 days ago.
Okay.
Or 2 days ago or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like what they're trying to get to have happen is there to be two options for service providers to offer their customers. You can have like regular speed, which they say is like what speed is now, but it's going to be bullshit. It's going to be like way throttled back. Or you can pay for like premium speed, which they say is going to be like lightning fast, but it's really going to be what we have now. And the people who don't want to pay for it are going to, this is what's going to happen. They're going to be sitting waiting for anything and everything to download, whether it's a movie or an email or whatever. And I just find this amazing. We've had this fantastic tech for all of its flaws that like information is free. And that, like people do, they figure out a way to fuck it up. Because whatever they're promising on Capitol Hill or whatever they're saying is going to be like, well, you could have Netflix and you don't have to pay for the expedited service, but you're not. Just watch. You're not going to be able to watch a movie without paying for amped up speed. So you're going to have You're going to pay for the service, and then you're going to pay for non-throttled down digital service. And we'll see how it plays out, but I don't know. Like Netflix already dominates so much of the video rental space. I mean, I don't know how the market can really step in and fix this. Because Ameritech will go to Netflix and be like what I just said. They'll go to Netflix and say, "Oh, you want your regular people to get movies? Yeah, they can still get them, but they're going to get in the line." And you're just going to be like, that when you download something and that thing scrolls around over and over in that loop. Get ready to see a lot more of that. And Netflix and Paramount and name your content provider is going to have, the power is going to go back to like Ameritech or to SBC or who are their service providers, or like AT&T or Xfinity, yeah. Thinking back from my generation, I don't think those companies even exist anymore.
I've heard of all those though. We had one that started with an M.
Moto?
Nope. Oh my gosh. It's like on the tip of my tongue.
Modus? What, here in Michigan? I don't know.
I can't remember what it was.
It's going to come to you as we keep talking. All right, so that's the complete idiot approach to net neutrality. But if you're interested, take a look at the renewed debate about net neutrality and how they're trying to sidestep everybody paying the same rate for digital service. Paramount might go private. Did you see that?
Yes, I did see that. And I had to read it a few times to figure it out. But that
do you know who Apollo is?
No. Do you?
I don't.
Because I read that and I wrote...
I mean, like Sony, yeah, but I mean, is it the division of, or did they partner up to buy
I don't
Paramount?
know, and I didn't look into it further because I reread that and tried to figure out... Because it's Paramount and Apollo. Is that what it said?
No, it's Sony and Apollo.
It's Sony and Apollo.
Who's trying to buy
and I don't,
Paramount?
Yeah,
for
I don't.
an obscene amount of
I know.
money.
I wrote that down.
Like $26 billion. Which.
Oh yeah, I wrote all those. Yep.
But apparently, I knew I should have bought Paramount stock 5 years ago because it sent the share price into the stratosphere for Paramount.
It did. It said that, yeah.
But if it goes private. I don't know. I guess you'd have to buy back all those shares, like all the shares that are outstanding. It's a publicly traded company. I would assume if you take it private, you're going to have to reacquire those shares from the shareholders. I would think. So that's going to be real interesting. There's been a couple of dailies since we,
That's true.
recorded
Yeah.
this,
Mm-hmm.
so there might be updated news. But Paramount's got a long history of producing amazing movies, so that's going to be real. Whenever studios these crazy transitions happen with movie studios. But this is kind of a bananas one. Who would have thought Sony would own? It's like everything's being consolidated. Like Disney bought Lucasfilms, and it's just funny. Like I remember when Paramount bought SKG. You remember DreamWorks?
Yeah.
They started that with the intent. They're like, we're going to end up unloading this to them or to somebody. And Paramount became Paramount SKG. And then, made Spielberg and Geffen and Katzenberg a gazillion dollars. And now they're the ones, I don't want to say on the chopping block, but they're the ones getting gobbled up. What else did you have?
I think
Development stuff.
Well, I wrote down a note about CBS bringing back the TV show Hollywood Squares.
Oh.
And I just cracked up because I actually never watched Hollywood Squares, but I remember it like being a really big deal.
Oh my God, it was hilarious.
Was it really funny?
Hilarious.
I think I would really enjoy it.
There was, I was just watching one of the comedians who was on that.
That's so funny. Who hosted the first time?
I was a kid and that was still on.
Yeah, I looked it up. I didn't write any of the details down, but there were years. I mean, it was on a long time ago.
It was on the 70s and in the 80s. What's this guy's name?
And then I think it came back for a little while.
He was, he was a gay comedian that was on it all the time.
Their new Hollywood Squares host is Drew Barrymore.
Paul Lindy.
Oh.
That guy.
Remember,
he was hilarious.
Wow.
He was hilarious. It'd be really interesting to see who they plug into that. Well, I mean, it's going to be all new people, but if for anybody out there who enjoys comedy from any era, look up Paul Lindy. He was a flamboyant actor, and a little bit later in his career, he was a regular on Hollywood Squares, along with like Gilbert Gottfried and I think Rita Redner might have been on there for a little bit. But anyway, what else about it?
That's all, really.
All right then. Was that the only other thing that you had?
No, I had more in development.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, I started to get excited because I read Robin Wright
I think I saw that.
was attached to a movie, or is attached to a movie called Girlfriend. And I was like, this is interesting. And then I clicked on it and I read further and I was like, nope, I don't want to see it because it sounded like there's like a relationship twist, and really, is it what people think it is, or is it worse than that or better than that? And it just sounded kind of like going to the horror way.
Yeah. See, for anybody who has any interest in horror movies, Louise is not your girl.
Yeah, so I was like, oh no, I'm not interested.
What about
anymore.
thrillers? You don't like thrillers either?
I do like thrillers, like psychological thrillers. Like, is that what we're talking about?
Yeah. Did you ever see Pacific Heights?
Nope, I've never heard of that.
Michael Keaton was a landlord, and he terrorizes these renters. I think Matthew Modine's in it. It's like horror's little brother.
Oh, I see. Yeah, and movies like that, I don't have a problem with. I like those. I've enjoyed those, but I can't do like blood and scary and yeah. So anyway.
Did you see anything about this comedy called Encore with Don Johnson?
Yes, I think I did.
I want to know what that's the only note I made, but like,
oh, okay.
I don't think I've seen Don Johnson in a comedy. I've seen him in having comedic flair, like in. He was in a Quentin Tarantino movie where he was a plantation owner. And he's had like he has good comedic delivery. I think. I mean, it's a little, it's mixed with machismo, but
there were some other names attached to that movie.
Who else
that I was sort of interested in. It'll take me a minute to find it. But another thing that I was reading about, there were a few movies that mentioned movie musicals being made, and being a big fan of musicals, I was interested. Like, oh yeah, I'd watch that. There was a musical coming out. Now I'm confused by my notes. Did you read that there's a musical coming out called Power Ballad that's filming in Dublin right now with Paul Rudd and Nick Jonas?
No. That's more your vibe. I mean, I like Paul Rudd, but
yeah, no, you're right. But I was just wondering if you read about it.
Well,
but they
do tell. Wait for this Don Johnson movie.
Oh, did you find it? Okay, yeah. Who else?
Glenn Close.
Oh yeah, Glenn Close.
Jeremy Irons. Henry Winkler. I did write about that. Yeah. So Simon Curtis's upcoming comedy about a group of veteran actors whose passion for the profession is reignited through their retirement home production has gathered a quartet of Academy Award, Golden Globe, and Emmy-winning stars for an ensemble cast. Feature reunites 8-time Academy Award nominee and 3-time Emmy Award winner Glenn Close and Academy Award winner Jeremy Irons, 34 years after their critically acclaimed hit Reversal of Fortune. Henry Winkler, Don Johnson also signed on, but it doesn't. I don't think it says anything about the. Let me see here. Hold on. Just relax. Okay, Close and Irons play former Broadway icons Marie and Nigel, who are new residents of a retirement home. Oh, this could be funny. Or they discover a community of forgotten talents. Motivated to revive Nigel's passion for theater and embrace this new chapter in life, Marie decides to stage a production with the residents, pulling everyone out of their past into the present. UK sales and finance company Protagonist Pictures unveil the starry cast on Thursday as it launches worldwide sales on the movie ahead of Cannes. Encore is written by Academy Award nominee Robert Nelson Jacobs, who did Chocolat, and produced by Wick Godfrey, Marty Bowen, and Isaac Klausner for Temple Hill Entertainment, who did Twilight Saga and Maze Runner. What else you got?
Thank you for all those details. Yeah. I didn't write all those down. Back to my Power Ballad.
Yeah.
So it's a musical starring Paul Rudd and Nick Jonas, one of the Jonas brothers. Paul Rudd is a former or current wedding singer, and Nick Jonas is a pop star, which is what he does in real life.
Real stretch for him.
Yeah, real stretch, real difficult. I've never been there. I have to study how to act that part. But they team up to write a comedic song of some sort. Anyway, it just, I don't know.
What background do they have in comedy?
Who? Paul Rudd and Nick Jonas.
I'm sorry. I thought you said Nick Jonas and somebody else.
No, that's okay. Paul Rudd and then Nick Jonas. I'm not really.
I think Paul Rudd's going to be doing most of the heavy lifting in that.
Probably. I think, but Nick Jonas could, bring the pop star singing personality. But
everyone's going to have defined roles in that picture.
I would like to see the preview before I, make any more judgments.
I'm just going to go out on a limb and say you're going to that one solo.
Oh, okay. And there's another musical note. Janelle Monáe.
Don't know her.
Yeah,
Never
you
dated
do.
Her.
You would know.
How do I know her? When did I date her? Where did we go? Who is she?
Well, we were just looking at photos of the Met Gala, and she was at the Met Gala for this year. But
what's my guy's name who does those critiques?
I don't know what his name is.
Oh God, my Indian guy who.
Your British Indian.
British guy. Indian guy who just rips up Rich people. Oh, I love him.
He's so funny. He's so entertaining. I just love.
Every time he pops up in my feed, Louisa just goes bananas.
Yeah, she does.
And when this Met Gala review popped up, I've never seen. She like jumped out of her seat.
I woke up out of my tired state.
She's like, oh my god, this is gonna be good for sure.
Well, it just happened like 2 days ago, and it was happening like it was starting. People were starting to arrive on the red carpet. Like when I checked into my phone after work.
These people look like nitwits. I don't like. Okay, great, Met Gala, it's a big deal, but like, look, call me a simpleton. Whatever, but like, all right,
it's just a big expensive party.
Yeah, but like,
it's a fundraising event.
Like, there's okay, fine. It's like the celebrities come out and they look like Frankenstein's monster. Like they had their garments put together with a blowtorch and expensive fabric.
I was also really excited because originally I thought that the theme was flowers, which is sort of still is. What was like a garden in time or something. Mm-hmm. And so I was
that nitwit who
excited.
had would she have like a watch frozen in a block of ice and she was walking around with it? Or was it it was something in a block of ice?
Yeah, no, it was a rose in a block of ice. Yeah. But who was that? I didn't see that one until tonight.
It was actually melting. I mean, like, how could you like?
I know, and how could you hold that in her hands? Also, why did he not mention her nails? Did you see her nails?
No. Ugh. But I mean, most of it, it's just like it's like Christmas tree trimmings. It's not really fabric.
Yeah, it's not like a gown. It's not like going to the Oscars or something where you're wearing a beautiful dress.
These things don't look comfortable at all. They look completely non-functional and ornate. And yeah, they're like, they make your eyes pop, but like, I don't know.
It's a big costume thing.
Yeah, it's like Halloween in the spring.
It is. That's exactly what it is.
But it's like that, and there's a theme. But I'll tell you, like the people, like the guys who just wear simple black
tuxedo.
Those guys look good. And some of the ladies wear beautiful gowns. But the majority of them this year, good God.
Well, the thing that I really don't get
is like it's just a bonfire of vanities.
After you walk the red carpet, you go maybe into the museum where you have like a cocktail hour. Okay, I can see that. That's fine. But, well, maybe not. But
why not?
Let me start again. After you walk the red carpet, then you go in and you have a cocktail hour. And after that, you maybe do a tour of the exhibit, and then you have a dinner. And I don't understand how
do you know all this?
Because I watched it online the other day. I actually saw Matt Damon talk about it. That's why I learned.
I wanted you to tell me that you went to one.
Well, I'm pretending that I did because this theme I liked. Usually I don't like the themes.
What was it last year?
I don't remember. But one year it was like campy, and I was really confused about what that meant. Campy, like camouflage? Campy?
Camp? No.
Camp? Yeah, maybe camp, not campy. But like, I don't understand. So if you wear these like, what did you call the outfits?
Atrocious.
If you wear these Christmas tree trimming outfits,
they look like.
How do you go to a cocktail hour and or sit down for dinner?
Yeah, like everything's just hanging out there.
And not to mention, they were saying like some people have to take these huge like oversized vans just to get from their hotel, which is probably down the street around the corner. How much does that gotta
suck to walk through the museum with those?
Seriously,
like some of those things, the women couldn't move their hips. And their ankles they can just shuffle.
And they couldn't even walk. Like, if I'm gonna go to a cocktail hour, a fancy cocktail hour, yeah, sure, I want to wear something fancy and look really nice, but I want to be functional too. I want to hang out.
I find it funny that like the whole idea that like orbits around those events are that you have to give up one for the other. You have to give up mobility and functionality to be a presentation, to be this stripper that jumps out of a birthday cake kind of experience for your dress, and
it's a big production. It's a big thing, a big scene. I'm glad that I have nothing to do with it except that I can look at pictures and be like, okay, yay, nay.
Like, I've always had an interest in Hollywood, but that stuff, like the award stuff, just looks. I can't get behind it. It just looks ridiculous. And I was probably indifferent to it when I was in my 20s, but now I look at it, I'm like, God, you're just a bunch of young people who want people to notice you.
People do notice you.
Well, I get. Well, I mean, like the rest of the world is. I mean, I can't speak for the planet, but I would think that the majority of the public is like, ugh. I mean, it's
probably true. Probably true.
It's noticeable, but you know what it's like. Well, they probably don't. They get those gowns and things donated. It's for like the designer to get some street cred, right?
Could be.
They don't buy those things. There's no way.
I don't think they buy them. No, you're right.
You know what? I'm glad I'm not famous. Sounds like a giant pain in the ass.
I'm glad I'm not famous for so many reasons.
All right.
I don't need everybody to know every detail of my life. Do you want to know who Janelle Monáe is?
Bring it on.
You remember The Glass Onion? What's that movie? Knives Out 2?
Yeah.
She was in that movie.
Which one?
I can't really tell you. She, I don't know, was someone that was at the house.
You saw that like 2 years ago. I don't remember.
Okay.
Like, I remember Daniel
And you don't
Craig.
really know Hidden Figures very well, right? Okay.
Was she one of the scientist girls?
Mm-hmm.
We could figure it out pretty fast. It wasn't the...
she's not Octavia Spencer, and she's not Taraji P. Henson.
Those are the only two I know. So she's
Didn't we watch a clip where the one lady got her heel stuck in the vent before the thing was going to go off? They were going to test it.
Maybe. That was her?
That was her.
I can't remember.
Not that helped you, yeah.
No.
But anyway, she's going to be in a musical that's being produced by Pharrell Williams and someone else, I think. And it is about, it's a coming of age musical set in 1977 in Virginia Beach, and like the backdrop, if you will, is Atlantis Apartments, which Pharrell used to live in when he was a child growing up. It was like his neighborhood. So I don't know. I thought that would be fun because like costumes or clothes and I don't know.
Totally a Louisa pick.
Totally a Louisa pick. Like people living their lives, the trials and tribulations. I don't know. But anyway, they're attached. I'd go see it.
I really want them to make this villain movie. Fingers crossed. You know, we're gonna have to track that in Google to see if that's actually getting picked up.
Wouldn't that be great? Oh my gosh.
I can't believe you picked the same person. Well, I mean, it totally makes sense. All right, I think we're about where we need to be. We'll have a movie for you next time. Hugs and kisses.
Yeah, that was fun.
Toodaloos.